Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the first video of the 12 days of Bookmas. I'm so excited. This is my 4th year doing this and I'm just so excited to watch. I'm excited to make some videos, and yeah, we're just gonna do 12 straight days of book related videos. Have our little Christmas tree here. Hopefully the lighting won't be too bad. It is only 5:30, but for some reason it's pitch dark outside, so this is what you're getting. We're kicking off this Bookmas like I think I've always done, with a November wrap-up. That was such a weird way to say that, but I believe I've started all of Bookmases within the first couple videos being a November wrap-up. So we're gonna go over all the books that I read in November. I should have got my phone, but it's charging right now, so we're gonna use my iPad and we're gonna look at Goodreads to go over all these books. I know that this month was very reliant on my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I have had Kindle Unlimited for several months, like probably close to a year, and they were doing a deal. And so I did it. It was like 2 months for $3 maybe. So I am gonna miss that for sure because I have been using it. It looks like the book that started off our November read was a Hermione fanfiction. Sue me, but they are my favorite fanfiction. I can't help it for some reason. They're the best. This one was called Meet Your Match by Morgan Mercy. There was something so sweet and cute about this. It was about a 3-star read for me, 3.5. This is definitely a more happy romance, which is a good thing, but a little bit different than other Hermione fanfictions that I read. I really liked their relationship. It didn't feel very book accurate, which I know sounds like a crazy thing because Hermione is not like a thing that is done in Harry Potter. But like these characters definitely felt a little bit different, but not that that's a bad thing. It was just a little bit different. I'm just going to talk about the next 5 books. I am reading Witch Hat Atelier. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is a manga series. It's the first manga series I've ever read, and all of the books have been 5 stars. It is one of the best manga series. I can't even say that actually. This is the only manga series I've read. But oh my gosh, I think if I ever decide to read more series, it's gonna have to compete against this, which is like the most perfect, cozy, coming of age, like witches. It's just so good. So I read the last 5, so that's volume 9 through 13. I rated them all 5 stars. I can't really talk too much about it since these are the last volumes that are out right now. But it's about Coco, who becomes a witch, and just kind of her journey. And so I'm loving it so much. We probably have so much to go. Like I don't even think we're halfway through like the arc and everything, but yes, I definitely recommend if you're interested in manga, you should watch this for sure. I do know that the trailer for the show recently came out and it looked really good. So yeah, that one, super good. Like I said, the Kindle Unlimited took over and I read the entire Rose Hill series. If I can find all 4, I'm just gonna put them next to me. Because I read all of them and I rated them 3 stars. I think every single book took me a 24-hour span to start and finish the book. I was flying through these. I'm having a hard time deciding which one is my favorite. I really liked Wild Eyes just with the like single, I mean they're all single dad, but like there's something about the second one that was just so good. Single dad, like pop star girl comes in, is like living on this ranch, having a horse ranch. And it was just so good. I rated it 3.5 stars actually. I think I rated all of the other ones 3 stars, but I rated Wild Eyes 3.5. So I have to say that is my favorite. If you guys like Elsie Silver, I would definitely recommend this one. I think Chestnut Springs is just her best stuff, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. Those are 5 fantastic books. They're so entertaining. I would like to know if I read them right now if I'd feel a similar way to how I felt about the Rose Hill series. It was just like kind of cringy, but they're like highly entertaining. They're just so tropey. It's actually insane. But yeah, I love the covers of these. I would love to own these one day. But we're gonna move on. I actually did a reread. This is my 4th time reading The Cruel Prince, 5 stars. This is a 6-star book. Like this book is phenomenal. This entire series is one of my favorites. I think Like, if you were to know something about me, it would probably be like that I love this series so much. And so I was so excited when our book club got this book picked. And I did not choose it. It was somebody else. And yeah, 5-star, 6-star book. I can't wait to discuss it for book club. We were supposed to discuss it in November, but we had to do a rain check. So we're going to talk about our November and December book during book club. This is a 6-star book for me. I just love Carden. I love Jude. I love the entire world building. I think Holly Black just did a phenomenal job with her characters, and you can tell she cares about them deeply. Finally read The Sentence by Louise Eldridge. This was, I believe it was our July or June book pick for my other book club that I'm in, and I have been dreading reading it. I've probably tried and stopped reading it 4 or 5 times before I finally sat down and was like, I'm reading this and we're getting it done. And I was actually really glad that I read it. It was a 3.5 stars, which is a really good rating for this type of book. That is something that I don't normally read. It is about a bookshop owner who is being haunted by the ghost of a white woman, and it's kind of like, I think it's hard to say. It's called The Sentence, and I believe there's 3 different meanings of the sentence. First one is that our main character, she is actually sentenced for, I think it's 7 years, I'm forgetting now, but I'm pretty sure it's 7 years to prison for stealing a dead man's body. And that's not really a spoiler. That happens like within the first few pages, so you should read that. But then there's the book that is kind of the suspect, and there's a certain sentence within that book. So it is very interesting. It's very compelling. It has a haunting narrative. Louise Eldridge, I believe, is an Indigenous woman, and that definitely is a key part of the novel. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to read it in November, just because it was Indigenous Peoples Day this past month. 3.5 stars. For the same book club, I read our November book, which was How to Dodge a Cannonball. I rated this 2 stars, and I think that it just was not for me, which is unfortunate. I think some of this, let me explain what it is. It is a satire for the Civil War. It follows our main character, which I'm already forgetting his name. What is it? It's like Anders. It's about Anders, who is a white man, and he claims to be an octoroon, and just kind of his development through the Civil War, how he survives the Civil War, and just kind of his journey. It was highly entertaining, and I think there were some bits that were super, super funny. I just think it should have been a lot shorter. It shouldn't have been, I think it was like almost 300 pages. I think it should have been max 100 pages, and it would have got a higher rating for me. I just think the last third specifically, I was like, what are we doing right now? But I am glad to have read it because it's something new that I've never read before. Some Like It Cold. This is a young adult romance, holiday romance, and the main key factor of this is that our female protagonist is autistic. I will have a reading blog coming out regarding this book later this week. This was the first holiday book that I read for the season, and I rated it 2.75 stars. I think it was a good book. I think it was just a little too high school for me, and like I said, there's a reading blog, so if you want to hear more, go to that video. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm saying unfortunately, I read Off to the Races, which is the Gold Rush Ranch series. This is Elsie Silver's debut series, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of the prequel to Chestnut Springs. You don't have to read any of her books in order, but they're all towns that relate to one another in some aspect. So one of the main character's sisters is a female protagonist in the second book in this series. This book just kind of kicks us off into the Gold Rush Ranch universe. And I did rate this at best 2.5 stars, but I did rate it 2 stars. I thought it was entertaining, it was fun, it was quick. I read it very quickly. I think I read it again within like 24-hour span. Actually, no, I think it took me longer. No, it took me 5 days. That's not normal for Elsie Silver, which I think maybe will tell you something. I think the biggest thing is like it was so highly sexualized. Like he's meeting her for the first time, and he's like, I can picture her in the maid outfit, bending over, tying my shoe, blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, felt like they didn't connect, whereas in her other books, yes, they're still highly, like, they're smutty, they're spicy, but there's actually a connection there, or at least respect, whereas this This one, there didn't feel like there was any respect. I will say, like, I think one of these stars is because she literally whips a man. And I love that. Just kidding, that's kind of crazy. But in the context, it was fun. I won't lie. I actually only have 2 books left. So the second to last book I read is God Killer. This is the first book in the Fallen Gods trilogy by Hannah Craner. I ended up rating this 3.25 stars. This is my December book club with my book club that read The Cruel Prince. And I had started listening to this like several weeks ago and I hated it. But then I ended up reading it on my Kindle since it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I was entranced by there was 4 perspectives, kind of getting a found family sense, but the main character is Kissen, and she is the God Killer, and the prologue kind of starts off with just showing how her family was sacrificed for the fire god, and then that like leads into her future profession of like killing these gods, because she's seen what they've done. And so this world is set up where gods exist, but the king doesn't want there to be gods. But he used gods for the war, and now they're kind of like coming back out. It's kind of confusing to explain without spoiling, but I will say if you start to read this and you're interested, I think stick it out at least for the first book. I am considering reading the rest of the series just because I thought it was intriguing and I kind of want to see where it's going, because you can definitely tell that there's more to the story. But yes, there are 4 perspectives: Anara, Kissen, Egost? I don't know how to say his name. And then Skedi? I always pronounce it Skedi. I don't know if that's right, but yes, 3.25. Last book for this video that I read is I am revisiting a series that I started a few months ago earlier this year, and that's the Windy City series. So I read Caught Up. This is the 3rd book, and I'm actually currently reading the 4th. I could finish it by the end of November, but I'm not sure, so I'm not including it just in case. But yes, this was 4 stars. I love these books. They're so good. I won't lie, I really didn't like the first book. I thought Xander's was kind of like an a-hole. Like, I didn't like him. But I loved Ryan Shea in the second book, and I loved Kai. Oh my gosh! And I am loving Isaiah. We're not talking about that right now because I haven't finished that. But yes, decide which one's my favorite, and I think Caught Up is my favorite so far because it had the classic like single dad nanny trope, and I love that trope. Something about that is so appealing to me. So I think this one's my favorite, but the 4th one is really good. Like, I've always heard things about Isaiah Rhodes, and I'm like, homeboy can get it. If I'm counting correctly, I read 18 books this month. I might read 19 depending if I finish the 4th book. I think is it called Play Along? If I finish Play Along, it will have been 19. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have fun with Bookmas. Let me know who you're watching, what videos you want to see, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. Bye, guys. Bookmas!